All right, welcome back, everybody. ASAP Grim here, and this is the continuation of our Elite Dangerous Chronicle, where we're looking for the engine. We're trying to unlock all the engineers, and in this one, we're going to be farming some mats as well as getting started on the 5,000 light year requirement for Professor Palin. So, you can tell this is a video game for me because I have not planned this all the way out. I plan on going to where we need to farm mats and then kind of crossing that bridge whenever I get there as far as where to go next. Let me take you to the desktop. There we go. And show you that this is Hawk's engineering materials guide, where he tells you how to farm all the engineering materials. And here he is giving credit to Dave of Down to Earth Astronomy for finding a system that had a lot of high-end materials in the one system. So there's several planets to go to, but everything's in this system. And this system is, I think, some 11 to 1,500 light years from the bubble. And so we're going to plug this in, Altots LSK D83, and that's where we're going to go. Now, I might have to look at that again, because I wanted to show you, I am currently in BPM 14175. This is a pre-stage area that I selected because it is close to Matet. This is where my career began. I began in the Matet system. And the way that Professor Palin's requirement of 5,000 light years traveled goes is it's 5,000 light years from the point that you began your career in. So I came out here to get close to that point. Now we're going to plug in, what is it, Altots. I'm alt-tabbing, Altots LS-K D8-3. Okay, it found it. And if I plot that, it shows, oh, it's almost 2,000 light years, actually. 1,754 light years out. That is going to be 40 jumps away. That's a long ways. Now, in order to try and accomplish that as quickly as possible, to lower that number as much as I could, the reason it's 40 jumps for me instead of 50 something or 60 is because I've gutted this this Asp Explorer. I think I kept my shields. Yeah, you can see the shields are shown around the ship on the icon there. But I got rid of all of my cargo containing devices, and I think I kept my heat sinks for just in case, but I got rid of anything else, any point defense. I got rid of turrets and all that, and I stripped this down as much as I could. And what that led to for me is, if we go to ship and come down to the bottom one, my jump range, my current jump range is 49.27. Unladen, I can go 52.9 light years. The reason that it's a little bit lower than the unladen is because I am carrying the SRV, and I need the SRV to go farm the mats. So that was a requirement for me. Okay, so we are plugged in. I'm probably going to put you guys on pause. I don't know. We'll see, because I'm a little bit tired. Well, we'll just kind of see how the episode unfolds, because I want to actually just keep you here with me for right now, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about Odyssey and what's been going on with some of my other games and just chit-chat. So just bear in mind, I'm going 40 jumps. If you don't want to hear me chit-chat, or you're not interested in any of my opinions on this stuff, which it's going to be pretty thin. I'm not Obsidian Ant or anything. Then then scrub forward in the video until you see me in the SRV on a planet, right? So anyway, we'll go ahead and launch. I got a new mouse recently, like I got it today, and I like it.
Ship has liftoff.
It is the Razor Basilisk, and I think it's going to help me a little bit. I had an accident last summer where I kind of messed up my back and my elbows, and so I've been a little bit more susceptible to things like carpal tunnel, I think. And this mouse feels better in my hand. And then I got a couple other things to kind of just support my forearm and elbow a little bit more. But
Frameshift drive charging.
Hold on.
You're clear. Feel free to accelerate. Good luck and fly safely, Commander.
I like that voice. That's unique. I haven't heard that voice before. That guy must have bought something through the store. I do have the highest class fuel scoop I can get, so I tested it once. I think I saw it get up to 1,000 liters or megaliters or whatever it is per second, so that was impressive. I've been out of this game for a little bit. Oh, don't forget to honk. Honk every system you go through. And save that data to turn into Professor Palin, I believe. I think that's what the route you want to go. So I've been out of this game for close to a week, which is a little unusual for me. Normally I'm just out for days if I'm not playing every day. I jumped over to Crusader Kings 3 to continue my chronicle in that system. And unfortunately, and this is the only game it's doing it on, but either OBS would crash from encoding errors, which, by the way, I want to check that. Okay, it's looking good. Or Crusader Kings would crash. And from what the research I did on the error was, it looks like it's crashing because of overheating. Most likely overheating of the graphics card. I kind of think that that's maybe not true, or it's a false positive, because this is the only game it's doing it on, and Crusader Kings 3 is a map game with some 3D animation in it. It shouldn't be crashing my system if Bannerlord is doing okay, you know. So anyway, I ended up troubleshooting for about 3 days, trying various things, and just never could find a fix. So I wrapped up that episode. I basically closed out the Chronicle and put an episode at the very front of the Chronicle so people see it first thing that the Chronicle had to be closed due to CTDs. And then I got into Bannerlord a little bit. I streamed that today. I plan on streaming it tomorrow also. And my plan was not to go back to Bannerlord until they had a final release date. But when CK3 crashed, I just had kind of a hankering for a medieval game, and Bannerlord has had a major update recently, and so I just ran with it and had fun with that today. It's another game that I'm trying to learn. And then what I did was yesterday and today, I believe, I've been watching some of these videos come out on Odyssey. And I watched the Hawks Gaming video where he said how to have the best, it's a typical title for him, how to have the best start in Odyssey. And what you got to see is basically a step-by-step process of how to improve your suit and your weapons and how to get materials and money for all that, and then him go through a few missions. And it showed off a lot of the stuff that the Odyssey Alpha has to offer, including the taxi service. And then I watched Obsidian Ant has a couple videos that I watched. And I think it looks pretty nice. And in the Obsidian Ant video, I think, was it Obsidian? No, in the Hawks video, I was able to see some atmosphere. It was kind of a purplish atmosphere. It looked really good. What I'm looking to see, and that I have not seen yet, is whether or not they're going to have like procedural atmospheric insertion as you're coming in from orbit in your ship, like Starship Citizen does. And I'm hoping they do, but the atmosphere that I saw planet side was promising for if they do have what I'm asking for, what I'm talking about here with the procedural atmosphere as you transition from spatial orbit to in-planet atmosphere. Because it looked good. The lighting looked good. It's a pretty game. It's pretty. This game, this one's pretty, and it continues with this kind of color palette and theme. And but this is gonna be, I think, I don't know, I keep checking myself here. It looks promising, that's what I'm saying. It's really gorgeous looking, it's interesting, there's a number of things that you can do. It brings completely different style gameplay elements, and yet there's a similarity to it, like if you want to unsheath your weapons, quote unquote, you press U just like you would to deploy your hard points in the ship. But you have tools. You have different tools you can jump through. You have different weapons. Oh man, I'm out of fuel. That's what happens when you get to chit-chatting. All right, I need to slow down. Here we go. Okay, speed up again. And I had seen the pilot do a video where he was very discouraged that the trailer that the FDev had released for Odyssey, where they were doing a mission, he was very discouraged that the pistol was doing more damage than the rifle. Well, whenever I watched the Hawks gaming video, there's an explanation for that. It's just like with your ship. The pistol is a laser pistol, so that is a lot better at taking down shields on suits. And then you switch to your rifle, which is kinetic, and that takes down, quote unquote, hull and armor, but for the suit. So that explains why the pilot was seeing what he was seeing. Look at that. We just filled up a whole tank in like 15 seconds, 20 seconds maybe.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then there's these different tools that you can rotate through that do various things for you whenever you're kind of breaking into a settlement or you're researching things and stuff like that. So you see what I mean whenever I say that it's very different but familiar at the same time. So it's just going to add a lot of different aspects to the game. I've always had the feeling Elite was similar to what I felt whenever I first brought EVE Online up. It always felt like a game that had enormous potential, but it also felt very empty and uncompleted. Incomplete. Well, in EVE's case, I would chalk that up to me not knowing what I was doing, and to various degrees I would say the same thing with Elite. It's the learning curve. It's just sort of like, what do I do with this? And maybe you get bored after a little while or something. Elite's always been a kind of game that you just kind of got to stick with it until you start. I call it sitting in the stew. You got to just stick with it and let everything saturate into you, and then you'll have a light bulb moment. And I don't feel like I've mastered anything at all, but I think that I've gotten onto the point where the game is, I kind of have an idea of what to do. That's why I'm able to make Let's Plays. I have a goal, an objective, and then I do a Let's Play series on it. What I call a chronicle. We're going to go ahead and scoop here. Well, I think Odyssey is going to fill those gaps in. There just seems to be a whole lot of stuff to do. Hopefully it doesn't become repetitive and mundane. I'm hoping that they have things in there where it affects the background simulator, or you have some kind of impact on the world around you to keep you interested, you know, where there feels like there's gravity to your decisions. Meaning, you know, that's sometimes games like this, that's where they're lacking. They give you stuff to do, but they don't give you any real reason for why that should be important to you. You know, hold on just a second, I need to mute. Okay. Got to clear my throat, sorry about that. So anyway, that's kind of from what I'm seeing of these videos, and it is really early. These are the first videos from the alpha stage of this expansion, but it looks good. And Hawks said it looked good, you know, and he's the guy that I kind of feel like he calls it like it is. You know, if he doesn't agree with it, he's not a shill. He's unabashedly pro Elite Dangerous. He loves this game, and he'll tell you that, but he doesn't strike me as the kind of person that would tell you something is awesome if he thought it wasn't, and that it needed help. And I think Obsidian Ant did a good job today. He talked about how they said they were not going to address some of the bugs that have been lingering around for ages, and he said that was very disappointing. You know, I gotta agree with him. Is it disappointing from a point of breaking the game? No. And I'm also basing all my commentary here off of very little information, so maybe we've just misunderstood them, right? But I'm saying that if that's accurate, for me it's disappointing because it shows a company who has maybe too much emphasis towards just making money, and that's their measure of success for the game, rather than, and this is an old concept that really is it feels like has fallen by the wayside in the past few decades of the way corporations work in America, or really anywhere now. But it used to be way back in the day, like in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, what my grandparents and what a lot of your great grandparents would have told you is that people had pride in their product. When they started a business, they wanted their product to be as good as possible. That's what they took pride in first and foremost. And the success of the business was a result of that. It wasn't the primary focus. The first focus was to have a great product. Not a product good enough to sell tickets. Just a great product, for the purpose of having a great product. And then the result of that was that you were successful, you know. And I think that businesses have kind of reordered what I call it the totem pole. You know, for those who don't know, a totem pole was a ritualistic, spiritual kind of worship icon for Native American Indians. And it's not that I've researched this a lot. I have Indian blood in me, and so I've got stories in my family. And so I haven't gone out and researched this. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm just explaining the concept as I understand it in my mind. So I'm asking you to focus on the concept I'm getting at. The totem pole is ordered in priority because there's multiple gods, right? Multiple nature gods that are being worshipped, but they're put on the totem pole in order of ascendance, with the primary one, the one that's most important, being at the top, and the one that's least important at the bottom. Now, I'm sure there's probably huge nuances I'm missing in that, and maybe I have the whole thing wrong. I don't really know. But I'm using that as an analogy of how companies prioritize bottom line. That's goal number one. That's at the very top. And I'm suggesting that that's an incorrect prioritization. And that if it was like it used to be, where they prioritized, if their pride was first and foremost in the product they were putting out, you wouldn't have this problem that Obsidian Ant mentioned. How many of these bugs are easy to fix? I don't know. It's an assumption on my part. But some of them seem like, and I'm not even super familiar with this. I'm relatively new to Elite Dangerous. I mean, I've had it for a while, but my amount of time in Elite Dangerous, and especially amount of time of having any clue as to what I was doing, is pretty small. So my knowledge in Elite Dangerous is thin. But I've looked at some forums, and I see people complaining about some pretty simple sounding bugs. How hard is it to get a team together of 3 people and tell them, hey, bang this out in 6 months. Get this done. You got 6 months, you're dedicated to this. This is all you work on. And in 6 months, you clear these 24 bugs. I want these done and complete and out of the way. I don't ever want to see somebody complain about these on a forum again. How hard is that? But instead, they want to throw everything they've got into new content. Well, okay, but that kind of shows me what your ideas are, you know, and it makes me suspicious of how good things are going to be in the future. So, but I'll wrap up that. That's a lot of chatting on something that I really don't know heads or tails about, to be quite honest. I don't know the actual truth and what all's going on. I'm just a little bit leery, and overall, it's very accurate to say a little bit leery at this point in time, because Odyssey looks good, boys and girls, fellas. I like when people say boys. It's neat. Hey boys, let's go do this. But anyway, it looks good. It looks good. It's pretty. It looks enticing. It looks interactive, absorbing. I have heard, I think through Obsidian Ant, that FDev's claim is that you could play Elite Dangerous and never get into a ship and have more than enough content to go through. That's a pretty big statement for a game that's built around flying ships, you know? So, anyway, we'll see how that goes. I've been chatting for a while. I want to see how many jumps we have left. I think I've been talking about this for 17 minutes or so. Good grief, man. With as little material as I have to go off of, I can be a chatterbox sometimes. Alright, scooping. Man, it fills up fast. Alright, what are we looking at? We got 24 jumps left. I think I horned the system, or honked the system. There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I think after this jump right here, I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on pause, because in this episode, I want to show you some of the farming. I've got to remember that because I've engineered this ship and gutted it to make huge jumps, that every jump I'm using significant amounts of fuel. So I want to stay topped off. $800 liters or whatever percent. Yeah, done. Okay, guys, I'm gonna alt tab. I'm gonna put you on pause right now. Hey, welcome back, guys. We are not at our destination just yet, but I wanted to show you we are 15 jumps out, and I just got this message. Server broadcast, greetings, commanders. Our servers will be down for maintenance in 30 minutes. So what I think we will do is we will get to the system that we're headed to, and I'll land on the first planet, and that's probably where we will end this episode. And in the next episode, we'll do some farming. And we'll go through Hawk's tutorial where he tells us which planets have what stuff. And that episode will just be all about hopping from those different planets and farming all those materials. See, we're in the Altot system now, or we're going to be. Now, that's not the one we're headed for. We're going to be deeper into that system. But we're at least in the system. And we're 14 jumps out. So I'll put you guys back on pause right now. All right, welcome back, guys. We are one jump out, and we are looking for Moon. It's going to be Sun B, Planet 5, Moon A, so B5A. Also, I wanted to show you, we are in the Sanguineous rim. It's neat. I need to investigate the codex more. I think you can learn a lot of stuff from this. I mean, that's probably stating the obvious, but anyway. I've gotten 4 unique discoveries. Can some of you maybe tell me in the comments, did I discover that? Is that going to say Aesop Grimm? I don't know. I think that's neat, though. They were star types. So I discovered an A-type star. Maybe this is just for me, as this is the first time I've seen them, not the first time any player has seen them, I don't know. But A-type, M-type, K-type. And I thought there was a 4th. Anyway, I think that's pretty neat. But I like this right here because it makes me think of Stellaris. This is the area we're at. If I'm not mistaken, I think Earth is around here, but I'm not for sure. Anyway, we have traveled quite a ways. Can I zoom in on that? I cannot scroll in. Where's the bubble at? I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, it's just kind of neat to see where we're at. And we're going to make the jump. There's about 15 minutes left before this server resets, so hopefully we can get landed. But if not, we'll just log within this system, and in the next episode we'll land. Fill up on gas, target our system, astronomical bodies discovery made. But I also want to see, I want to check my info panel. If I can find it out, you guys will know what I'm looking for. It's our total light years. All right, system map. So scroll up. That's star A. Here's star B. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's this moon right here. You can see all the Star Destroyers set up, or Star Destroyers, the fleet carriers. Because everybody knows this is a great farming location. So that's where we're going to head. It's behind us. Oh, whoa, 310,000 out, huh? Yeah, we're not going to make that in this trip. So let's go over here and look at, is it ship? Pilot references. Flight assist. Okay, it's not this. Is it status? Session log. Finance. Permits. It's not that. Oh, that's right. It's under Codex. And I got to click on the commander. And we go to stats. And we go to exploration. Okay, so see, now I'm up to... I was at 500. Now I'm at 1,740 light years. So this is what we're going to use to make sure that we hit the 5,000 mark. But that will not be in the next episode. Next episode is about farming mats. And apparently the first thing we're going to have to do is just get out to the planet itself. So, let's go ahead and close this episode out, because all I'm going to be doing is flying. I showed you guys everything I wanted to show you. That I showed you the codex, I showed you the light years that we've made, I showed you the discoveries I've made so far. I'm sure we'll make some more when we resume this 5,000 light year trip. And I showed you where we're headed. And I talked about Odyssey, and I chit-chatted about some of my other games and getting the new mouse and all that. So yeah, I think I covered all bases. Well, all right, everybody. Hey, look, I hope everything's good in your world. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, hope all good things for you guys wherever you're at in the world, whatever your beliefs are and whatever your circumstances are. I just enjoy being able to get with like-minded people and enjoy something that we can find common ground on. So I am Aesop Grim. Thank you for coming by this channel. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and a comment, and I will see you in the next episode where this story continues. Thanks for visiting Aesop Grim's Chronicles. If you've made it this far in the video, please consider rating, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, stay shiny.